straight off the top. I love all of my niggas. That shit ain't gon' stop till we on top when we ballin', my nigga. We be fly as fuck, you know them bitches be stalking my niggas. That shit'll never change, and it's the same with all my niggas. City to city, I should be at home. That's what my ribs say. But bitch, I'm grown on these streets and closed caption. Niggas know we bout that action. If a nigga play with me, then my hockin' gon' let him have it. Hey, think you the shit, this truth the shit. Nigga play, I let that Ruger hit. Get on them tracks, they be like, who is this? I'm rude with it. Ain't got no manners. All them pussy niggas talk the shit. Yeah, I know they can't stand us, but we UPK, Louisiana, bitch, that's what I'm reppin'. And my niggas solid number, real ones in my section. If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start stepping. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood, I lay my life down right now for all my sisters and brothers, because I love them. I see them dapping and hug them. It's amazing to see how well we adapt from the struggle. Born again from a life of sin, trapped in the gutter. My mind frame was to kill my own kind. Feeling inferior, waking up ready to die. Run with them killers, so it's just a matter of time. For why take your life or let you take mine? That's when I realized the slaves killing slaves while the white man live to get old. We in them graves, shit got me feeling played. I opened the Bible, went through them records, found out we was royalty, a nation to be respected. But in this world we rejected, we hated for our complexion. Still fighting to get accepted. We hear the truth and reject it, but love is getting corrected. And all my niggas correct me. The commandments, the foundation we erected. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Hey, hey.
Those are messed up, no. Bad news is to beat your home, nigga. Yeah. Come on, get on that ass real quick one time. 144, bitch.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they trade that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole guard. Yeah, ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I go with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either Lord or this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about anymore. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Puffer boy. Took a sock, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like a dart. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Tsung. Put them out of service, keep them tools like it's all free. Try to hope it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Throw them boys, we taking over. Call them up like Saturday. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I make this like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they trade that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, the whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the fart. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either Lord or this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fart. They ain't locked in with the clout and with the speaking to me fart. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad, gotta with them steppers, niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch, like dollar. They say you get on, you gon' represent, I said of course. Soon as they pray that beat, I read that bitch is like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, we whole part. Yeah, ain't know they call me Obi-Wan, I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, force. Get it lit up like a torch. Either low or this low, so that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that, I swear I'm to our car. And I just made it call, we gon' start another war. Yeah.
Pendo, kill the beat.
I don't know who, somebody need to hear this. Y'all don't speak Hebrew, that's Yiddish. How the fuck you try to label us anti-Semitic? We the Israelites, blacks, native Hispanics. The Germans get locked up for the Holocaust. Meanwhile, black people still up in the Holocaust. 100 million of us died in the transatlantic. 6 million died. I want the world to never forget it. You can never be a Jew. You a Ashkenaz. This ain't a star dum-dum, a gun that would die. Yeah, Yeezy told the truth and got ostracized. Not one person in the Bible had on a yarmulke. We were slaves in America like we was in Egypt. Y'all don't even fit the curses in the Torah neither. Y'all was blind to the truth. I had to make it clear how Jerusalem, your land, your people came from Europe. That was 1947. Your menorah got 9 sticks. It's really only 7. Yes, us against the world. Armageddon. This what happened when you inherit lies from your ancestors. Y'all the synagogue of Satan with them black hats. Your whole nation sitting ducks, Aflacs, bunch of thieves and culture vultures, ain't nothing kosher. To tell the truth, you vagabonds don't have a culture. Macedonia, Alexander and Philip, you a convert, so tell me, how the fuck is you Israel? That don't make you the people just cause you litter. Why my people can't hate your people like y'all hate Hitler? Our prophets was black and was called nigga. Y'all don't even fit the description that's in the scriptures. Abraham, all the way down to Jacob, we the real Jews. Y'all don't study Christ, y'all follow the Talmud. Keep it real, yeah, let's keep it real. Cold hard truth, it give you chills. Say y'all Jewish cause y'all ain't really them. About to do them like Hammond, it's the Feast of Purim. You BK undefeated, this an easy win. We was born fighting y'all the evil twin. Jacob took hold of his heel, then out came his little red bastard and kosher deals. It's only 12 tribes, y'all trying to make it 13. Esau despises birthright, the Lord cursed him. He ain't the devil, who is? I'm still searching. Ask your rabbi why he give them babies herpes. I don't know what's worse, that or you claiming that you a Maccabee. I'm about to cancel everybody trying to cancel ye. I ain't afraid to speak. It's what I do. They riding to the core. I'm just judging them by their fruit. Cause they ain't suffering curses. If I was carnal, I promise I'll punch you in person. I know this is an uncomfortable subject. They make millions of our culture, and black people suffering from it. Yeah, they don't believe in Christ. They're the Antichrist. Make a living off of niggas. They're a parasite. I ain't afraid to tell the truth. Niggas terrified. I'm up to go DEFCON 4. I ain't satisfied.
That is proof. That is absolute proof that they know we are the real Jews. That's absolute proof. Now you got the records. Go find me a white Jew on any archaeology in Egypt, anywhere. You will never find a piece of archaeology with white people as slaves in Egypt. So don't tell me that they were slaves and it's their identity and they know it. The Lord knows the blasphemy of so-called white people that say you are Jews and you are not Jews. You are not the people of the law. You are not God's chosen people. God's chosen people are living in the ghettos of America. God's chosen people are in poverty, depression, in the streets of America. God's chosen people are walking around in America with no identity. That's where God's chosen people are.
Back roll.
Hey, Shalom, we can get started now. We're going to kick it off and we're going to just get started. Just give me a second here. We're going to say, we're going to clap it up. We're going to clap it up. We're going to clap it up. Yeah, this is how we do our doing. This is how we get started. We had the ISUPK started out at 1 West 125th Street under Commanding General Yohana. And I am prison officer of 50 Akashka ISUPK Bahamas. And we're here for another evening of class. We're going to do it again. We're going to repeat the last class we did, add some additional information, and we can just we're going to focus on the truth, Christianity, and we're going to talk about the Bahamas. But before we get to that, we're going to be touching on some of our current events, give you a little tip, maybe some agriculture tips, and then we're going to be jumping into the topic. But if you have any questions, just feel free, put your questions in the chat. Have any questions, you're on the mic, come up on the mic and bring your question forth, and I will definitely answer your question. If not, and one of my brothers should be coming in if all goes well. If not, if I am not able to answer your question today, I'll speak to one of the men above me, get the answer, and get back to you. But all of the answers that you may have are right in the Bible for any questions that you have in your mind. The answers are there. You just need to find the priest and the prophet to pull that answer out for you. And this is what we're here for. You have the question, we get the answer. Okay? All the way up to Commanding General Yohana. We go until we get to him. If anybody doesn't know it, we keep going up what you call the ladder. We keep going up that ladder until we get your question answered. Okay? So before we jump into our lesson, our topic for the night, I want to just touch on some general events that are happening, I guess, in our country, which is the Bahamas. And so I'm trying to attract the Bahamians into this whole, into this truth. Okay? Now, definitely, if you're in the truth, you know it's not easy. You know this truth is not easy. This truth is you come out of the world and you leave all that stuff behind you. All that stuff with the past to be so attractive. But anyway, you're going to get to that, I guess, in the topic. But right now, let's just touch on some general things. Okay, first, the Bahamas has always benefited from being in proximity to America and like-minded, stable kind of government. Of course, we less than 100 miles away from America, from Florida. And so we're highly influenced by everything. Now, of course, we are a developing country. So we drop right down in the bracket of developing countries. So if America has anything, they set any new policies that the developing countries would be affected by, a lot of times the Bahamas would be affected by that developing country policy. And I think one of the things that we may be recently affected by is this whole visa thing, you know. And granted, we may even have some people who may be passing through our area that may not be desirable, and they may be able to beat the system to get in there. So it's understandable. But this is what's happening now. So the visa is more difficult to get a visa. I think we still could travel with a police record, but the visa itself is becoming more difficult. Or I know in times past, the last time I got a visa, I applied for it. I didn't have to even do an interview. Just apply, send the documents in. It was granted. But now I think it's going to become, and that's before, that was in the last administration in the US. So now I think it's going to be a little more difficult for the general population, especially people who are not regular travelers, may be more difficult for them. But as I am one of those travelers that travel kind of frequently in different places, it may cause it to be a little more easy for me. But that's one of the things, a current event that the Bahamian people will be experiencing, maybe some more challenges with their baby. And listen, I want you to know, the Miami economy is fueled by the Bahamian people. You may even believe it, but that's true. It's fueled by the Bahamian people. We carry a lot of money over there. We just carry it and just leave it. Okay. Anyway, it works both ways though. But now things are becoming much more expensive in America because we now got this direct China link and Panama link. So things are becoming competitive to America. Okay, so the next thing is Next thing in the current events, I'll say is generally parents and children. Children are one of our most precious gifts from the Lord, and we in ICPK believe that you come back through your offsprings. Now you mightn't come back through your direct offspring, but we believe that you come back through of some in your third, fourth, or even fifth generation. If the Lord wants you to come back, you come back in that spirit. What happens if you have a child and the child dies? You know, we have to do our best, and what we hear, a lot of the deaths of the children is not always negligence of the parents. Some parents love their children to death and they do the best they can to keep them safe. But unforeseen circumstances and things that happen, you know, you really cannot put your finger on it. But the death of a child is always traumatizing to the parent. Speaking in particular, we had a drowning here over the last within the last few weeks, you know, and the parent must, you know, it always will it'll always be very hard for parents who lose children. But as another current event, watch your children, do your best. And like I say, sometimes it just happens. Sometimes it's nothing that the parent did wrong, you know, but that's a difficult one, you know, even to talk about, but it happens. So it needs to think about it. Now, I've not been able to confirm this one, so I'll speak a little vague on this. We have some import tax that's called VAT, and it seems well, of course, we're now in what you call the silly season, right? And this season where we have all kind of promises. Talk about promises. Give you a quick story. As a farmer, I was on my way to my farm. I saw a prominent politician, right? He was leaving the farm area. And, well, of course, normally, because there's only a few farmers in the area where I am, so anytime I see any kind of movement of traffic, I would actually stop and engage with the person, because we're off the main road, so that means the roads are very narrow because it's unpaved roads and the roads are growing up. So normally you'll have to stop and let one vehicle pass. But normally if I see someone in that area, I would try to see who's in the vehicle, because of course, if they're coming out, I don't know if they just left my property, which is a substantial investment that I have in the back there. So I would normally stop the person and probably take a quick look and a quick hello, how you doing? So a prominent politician was coming out, and so I stop and I say, well, I didn't want to let them know I know, you know. I say, hey, you look like someone I know, right? So they say, oh, we was down in the back here to talk to another farm. I say, well, help them, you know, help them. Oh yeah, we're gonna help them. I say, yeah, all the politicians will say the same thing. and that was the end of the conversation. I went my way, they went their way. Because the truth is, all of the politicians say the same thing, right? But now, saying that to say, we're in this season where you could hear any kind of garbage. We're getting going into the election season now. You soon have rallies and all these things, mudslinging and all the stuff. It's going to happen shortly. So take this, what do you say? Take it with a grain of salt. They're talking about the VAT, which is one of our import taxes. This VAT, they're claiming that they're going to be doing some kind of reduction or deduction or make some adjustment on the VAT. I don't believe it, because this is an income for the country, and people are already comfortable doing it. So I mean, if it happens, that would surprise me, because normally people don't lessen their income. They try to get more from their income. All right. So instead of they drop the price, they try and increase the VAT. But anyway, they said that that's going to be dropped. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. Now, so that's some of the things that we have as some of the current events here in the Bahamas. Some of the international things. All right. Some of the stuff that's happening internationally that we should keep our eyes on. You know, when the scripture talk about rumors of war and war, The end is not here, but keep your eyes up and be alert. You know what's going on. I'm paraphrasing the scripture. So some of the current event that's going on around the world that's continuing to go, it really don't get a whole lot of publicity, right? And the first one I can start with, I didn't even put this one down, but I can put it in now. The ICE, the ICE agent that shot the Caucasian lady, Minneapolis or somewhere. Anyway, one of the more how to say this, Caucasian states, and there was a Caucasian lady. Now there's a lot of uproar over that, and they have even the cities trying to get rid of these ICE agents. This is big. They also say there's some speculation, maybe not truth, I don't know. That who has find their way into this organization. Maybe some people who might be suspected of being criminally minded themselves. Okay, you'll have to follow that. I don't know what all I could say on this Facebook and this. I guess we're not on TikTok, so it's not that crucial. But the ICE agent, we have cities now uprising and trying to demonstrate that these people should not continue to do this in the land of America. It's like being, because I'm 60. I'm 65 now. When I was younger, it was unheard of that. And of course, I'm in the Bahamas. I'm not in America. Okay, so it was unheard of that the Americans would bring the military in the intercontinental land of America. Even the National Guard. It had to be a serious thing for them to do that. Any of these military factions, it was always a serious thing when you have to consider bringing them in with the public. They had a movie on one time. I can't remember the movie. I can remember there's Bruce Willis in it, and he was saying, like, when you bring the military into the city, the military is not the police. They haven't learned to deal with people on a one-to-one basis. They come like an army. They come to to destroy. They come to subdue. They come, and that's the mentality what they come with. They don't come with the mentality of policing and neighborly, talking. They don't come with that. They come with that big equipment, and they come to annihilate neighborhoods at the time, because what did they do? They come in to have war, and they come in to have war in your neighborhood, in their neighborhood. So that's ridiculous how they are doing that. And again, I'm an outsider. They're doing their own thing. Okay, but that's one of the things that's going on. The uproar to different states about the ICE agents, and they're trying to take our people, of course, the Hispanics. They have the Hispanics as the face of the illegal immigrants. But do you know that they're not the most, the illegal immigrant, the largest number of illegal immigrants are not Hispanics? Okay? That's just the newspaper. But then they've been targeted. It's always been that. Even the people of color has always been targeted. They've always been used as the face of anything that they want to look negative. All right. Okay, so some other things that's going on around the world. I'll just touch on them. Well, we still got the Israel and Palestine thing going on. All right, they're still unaliving. It's proxy, because America is assisting with some of the help from the ammunition, the bombs, and whatever else. And America is assisting with that. So, man. So we consider it to be almost like a proxy war, Yeah, but we got that going on. So we got America, and I'm saying this to say, when you see all these things going on, you should be able to find your way to the truth, back to those laws, precepts, and commandments, lock down on them. Okay? Because you're not sure how things is going to turn out, how bad it's going to get. But the only one that's going to be able to save us is Yahweh. And when Yahweh send Yahweh Shai back, and things are going to change, we'll be in charge. All of this stuff goes away. I'm telling you, it all goes away. All this raping and robbing and killing and pillaging. If you think about it, and I might get into this a little bit before I get into the class with the Caucasian versus the black leadership, how that would work. Okay, so but before we get to that, just talk about some of the confrontations going on around the place, right? So we, of course, I say we got Israel and Palestine going at it. We got the Ukraine and the Russians. They still going at it. We got a new thing arising now, right? Well, of course, we realize that Trump, Slovakia, what do you call it? Well, anyway, the leader of the free world, right? We want to be careful as we use names. We don't know how these social media reacts to these things. But we know that the Venezuela has been severely impacted by a superpower, and they're now saying that they're going to run the place. They're gonna extract everything that they want. They're going to take whatever they want. They're going to run the place, and they're going to take care of the people. That's yet to be seen, but that's going on too. Okay, that's going on. So and the new thing that's happening is there's also now this issue about Greenland. All right, again, it's one of the current events. Greenland's supposed to be a strategic position for the superpowers, and it seems like it's being said that there's going to be a grab for Greenland. And these superpowers must get Greenland because of national security reasons. And so you will see that happen in the future. But one superpower said they got to get Greenland. I don't know what the others saying nothing. But the thing is, that one superpower say they can take it. Okay? So if you look at what's going on, if you think about history, you remember the things that happened in history. Somebody was always trying to take over the world. And guess what? It seemed like that was happening again. Somebody's trying to take over the world. Somebody's trying to take over every country one by one in this world and make sure that they have the control. And I don't know, if you haven't been able to see that, I suggest you wake up, because I think that's happening. I think somebody's trying to take over the world. All right? And if you don't know who it is, you just need to watch the news. Okay. Now, like I say, we're gonna be a little vague on some of them things because we don't know how the social media is gonna act and react and cut my little live when I get my 5 views from the Bahamas and cut that. Come on, man. You know they can deal with me harshly. Anyway, we're gonna jump now. Before I get into my topic, there's something I said just now, and I thought I'd say a little bit about it. You know, the way the world is being run now, it's not gonna run. And if Israel was in charge of this world, it would not run the way it's running now. So, Precinct Officer Kashka, why would you say something like that? You know why I would say something like that? Because we are the most compassionate people on this earth. So wherever you see, whatever things you may see happening with no compassion involved, that would not be happening. Let me take, for instance, we go back to historical information. You know, the Caucasians killed buffaloes so that the Indians could eat. They tried to wipe them out. They say they had mountains of bones where they slaughtered the buffalo. Do you know there's probably only one set of people that just kill for sport? You know, in all those, think about this. In every civilization which you may have heard, even check this out, even me as a child, when I was young, and me and my little friends, we would make our slingshot and we go through the woods. And we would, you know what our motto was? We wasn't shooting the bird, because that's what we did. We were slinging the birds, clean them up, fry them, and eat them. Right? Okay. So if it was a bird that we did not eat, we didn't sling it. We didn't hit it. We didn't kill it because we didn't need it. You see, as a child, I had that in my mind. Do you know that the Caucasian man does not have that in his mind? You know what they kill for? For fun, for sport. I'll never show the cat. Why? Because I ain't planning on eating it, okay? But what would they do? They'll go to Africa, they'll kill things just to put it on the wall, not to eat it. Even the people who was in Africa themselves was living with the animals. They kill to eat what they want and watch out not to be killed by the other ones. Eh? but that's what they did. But once you see the invasion or the familiarity with people going into Africa, especially from the Americas, they start hunting these animals for sport. If the Israelites, and when the Israelites become in charge, when Christ returns, and then the government changes, you will see the difference. Or guess what? Trump said he wasn't gonna start no war. Anyway, the orange guy said he wasn't gonna start no war. But guess what he did? He started wars, he funded wars, he had wars going on. Right? He bombed boats where he said he was bringing in narcotics that don't even come to America, you know? He wasn't gonna start no war. So when Yahushua returns and this government changes over, it all stops right away. Okay? It all stops. All of this nuclear proliferation and all that stuff, I think all that's gonna be stopped right in this track. I don't know if they can do it all that garbage because the shelf life of that stuff is hundreds of years, 1,500, 2,000, some large number of years, even to get rid of some of that stuff that we've made over the years. You just can't get rid of it. It's deadly for like 1,000 years, right? You can't be nowhere. You can't be nowhere in proximity to this thing for hundreds of years. That's how deadly the stuff is. What we concentrated it, we purified it. The element was there, but we made it stronger. We made it, we didn't create it, but we juggled around with the nuclear and all this stuff to make it more deadly than it was. Okay, so that's what and it wasn't the people of color. I want you to believe that. It wasn't the people of color who's driving that. It was the Caucasians. Okay? So when this world turn around, it'll all change. All right, let's talk a little bit about the topic now. Since I know you can hear me. If you got any questions, just open up your mic and say Salakia, sir. And you could get it on before I get into the topic. Okay? So now I hope I'll take it from a little different angle, maybe today, but we're going to talk a lot about the same thing we did not the class, but just past, because we had to run an old class with the class last Sunday. All right. Now, I said that to say because we're trying to get Christianity is a serious drug. And listen, it's free in the Bahamas. Okay, it's free in the Bahamas. So we have to battle that down. We have to fight that down. We have to cause people to open their eyes and see that it's a drug. And again, it's free. So everybody uses it. Everybody loves it. Everybody likes it. But nobody's really reading that word and sticking to it. Nobody really, and we're going to get into it right now. Okay, let me see how much time we got. We might run over a little bit. Okay, so Christianity in the Bahamas. Is it a help or a hindrance to the truth? Now, I went over the breaking down of the words and go over it again because I want to do it a little different than I did before. And so bear with me on this one now. Okay, so Christianity in the Bahamas. So we talk about that. I want to change that word right now. Okay? Because Christianity in the Bahamas, you don't see the working of Christianity other than in the church. Okay. Now, there are people who are not in the church who consider themselves to be Christian. We consider all to be Christian, right? Muslims, Jehovah's Witness, 7 Days, Pentecostal, Baptist, Catholic, all of them. We consider all of them the same thing. If you're not in ISUPK, you're not in the truth. And we're not affiliated with any other Christian organization, any social organization, or any other Israelite group. Okay, so that's our stand. And so now I want to talk a little bit about Christianity, but I want to actually say the church. Okay, so recognize that the Christianity I'm talking about, because if I say Christianity, and I'll talk a little bit about that, the inception of Christianity. Let me see if I could. Phone is a little low. I don't know what I can do. Let me see if I can pull it up on the computer. I can talk a little bit about Christianity, but if I use the pure sense of Christianity, you'll get a different meaning. But in reality, I think the better thing to say, let me see something, is not so much Christianity, but the church. Because if we consider Christianity, some people normally reflects back to the biblical Christian, and they say that that's Christianity. But this is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about the biblical Christian or Christianity when Christ was on the scene. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Let me go from there. If not, okay. All right, I got it. What we're going to read is, let's see if let me bring this up on the screen. Let me bring this up on the screen. And then we can let's see if we can see it now. That's the thing. Let's see if you could see it. Because of course I don't have my spectacles on, so I need to read it. Okay, we're getting the biblical, we're getting where Christians are actually mentioned in the Bible. Because we don't talk, I'm talking about Christianity, I'm talking about Christians, I'm talking about Christians in the Bahamas. And this is going to be similar to wherever our people are. Wherever the Israelites are, this is the kind of effect what we're going to get. This is what happens, right? Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the name Christians, where it came from. And is that name, when the Christians was acting like the way they were acting to be called Christian, are these present day Christians acting the same way? That's the question, because what happens is you would call these people today Christians, but the truth is, when you look at the way those Christians were acting who were called Christians in Acts 11 and 20, and in Acts 11, chapter 11, verse 26, when you look at them, we're going to talk about what did they did, what were they doing in those days and times. Okay, so let me just find where they were called Christians, and we'll go from there. All right, so this is the book of Acts, chapter 11 and verse 26. And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch, and it came to pass that a whole year they have assembled themselves with the church and taught much people, and the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. So that may be the very only place in the Bible where that word is mentioned in the Bible. All right. I may stand corrected, but I think that's where it is. I think that's the only place. Now, we see, so you understand, in the book of Acts, they were called Christians. And even the Christian, the way it was called at them, the disciples were called Christians, right? And so the way it was said in that, these are the people that walked with the Lord. So what were they doing? How were they living? If we compare our modern day Christian church with the apostles, would you say that they were acting and doing things similarly? I would say no. I would say the days when the apostles were on the earth, that they didn't do the things that our Christian church and pastors do today. The Christians back then, which we try to carry the same name, but we're not acting the way they acted. Why am I saying that? This is why I said, and I said this the last time too. I took it from a little different angle, but got back to the same point. The thing was, back then, Judaism was the religion, right, that Christ came up under, and the apostles followed. So they would have followed the law. They would follow the feast days. They would follow, and they would not follow other celebratory days. They would not follow, let's say, for instance, they would follow the Passover, because that was something that the Lord said to do that, right? To observe the Passover. They would observe the Sabbath day rest. They would observe things like Hanukkah, first fruit. They would all of these feast days they would observe. That's what they was observing those days. What are the pastors and the churches observing these days? Is it the same? And tell me something. If it's not the same, can they do the same things? Can they do something different and be the same as they was back then? That's the question. Can they do something different today and claim to be the same people who was back then, who was doing something different? That's something that needs to be considered. And I don't think that they can do it. I don't think that it's possible. I think that once you start doing something different, you become a different person. You're not the same person. If, let's say, if I can break this down the best I can. This is simple, right? Let's take, back then, people were mining. They were mining. They was digging in the ground. Let's say they were gold mining. We see it on TV. Probably don't be the same way, but anyhow, let's use that for an example. So they dig up in the river. They get the little tray in the river. They shaking the stuff, and they're looking for the glistening of the stone, and then they put it in something, and they collect it, and that's gold mining, right? That's a simplistic form of gold mining. So they were gold miners back then doing that. Now you have a brother these days, let's just say this mason guy, he's mixing cement and building structures, right? Back then he was a gold miner because he was mining gold. Today he's a brick mason. Back then, so what I'm saying is the name should change because he's not doing the same things. Practically, he's not doing the same things. And this is what happened with Christendom. They are not practically doing the same things, but they want to maintain the name. And also, nobody wants to admit that there was an infusion there was a it was almost as a takeover. There was a merger of paganism and Christianity, and it was done by one Constantine. He did it because he was ruling, and they was trying to figure out how we can bring these things together. Because what's happening is we have the church and the state basically, for the best way I could put it. They had these two entities. They're trying to merge them together. So they just try to merge as many of the things into one as possible. But I said that to say, okay, so they were celebrating, I'm not sure which god they were celebrating on the 25th of December. It might have been Nimrod or some other god. But what they did, they said, okay, so we'll take that god and we'll say December the 25th is Jesus Christ's birthday. That's what they did. Right? And so they also, so that was done to a lot of the pagan. And this is, see, the issue and the problem with this is these days they were being celebrated prior to all of what the Christians were doing. Because even though the Christians were there, these pagan celebrations was going on. So what has happened is you guys have been hoodwinked, and I was there too. I just wake up a few years ago. You guys have been hoodwinked, because what happened is, let's say for instance, you've been celebrating for the last 2,000 years December the 25th as the god of whichever one, whether Nimrod or some other god, you're celebrating that to him. And so now they turn around and say, okay, you celebrated the Christ. Come on. You mightn't be smart enough to realize that celebration is not going to Christ. That celebration is going to whoever it was going to before. Nothing you say could change that. You can't say, I doing it for Christ. Because it wasn't nothing to do with Christ when it started. And so you can't change it. Even if you want to, you can't. You are unable to change that, whatever the celebration might be. You can't change it. Okay? So that's the Christianity. That's the church. The church does not want to talk about things because they realize that we had a debate today. And the jury is still out. Whether Christianity is ignorant or deceptive. I don't know. When you watch the video, you tell me what you think. Do you think Christianity is deceptive, not knowing the things about God? Or they know and they're deceiving the people? What do you think? Put it in the chat. Send me an email. Give me a call. Do something when you figure it out. Because right now, I don't know which one is worse. I can't determine which one is worse. But they're suffering from one of them. And I believe it's deception. The truth, I believe, because I can't believe that these people who has been involved in the scripture so long don't understand and they are ignorant. I find it hard to accept that. Okay, but anyway, let's try to get to the end of this so we don't have to do a part 3. Okay, so it's lucky for that. Anyway, that's Christianity. That's Christianity and the church, right? I'll bounce back to that, but for right now, hey, shalom. So, you think it's ignorance? I don't know. Ignorance, it may be ignorance, right? But I guess that's the safest way. And this is I'm answering. I'm speaking stuff in the comments. And the comments say it may be ignorance, and the truth is that's only because you don't want to think the worst thing. You see, you want to think it's ignorant. You don't want to think it's deception. But anyway, that's fine. Ignorance may be even worse if you think about it. Ignorance may be even worse than just deception. You know, so I don't know which one is worse, but the jury's still out on that one. Okay, but Okay, we can talk a little bit. All right. The last time I mentioned the Bahamas, and this could be anywhere in the world, wherever our people are, we have the same kind of dynamics going on. And that's just the reality. We have this dynamics going on. Right? So, does it help? Does it help or hinders the truth? Now, this part here, I mean, it's almost like it goes without saying, because if we are saying now, what I'm saying is the Christians today are not the same as they were then, right? That means they're not following the laws, precepts, and commandments as they did then. They didn't grow, which they should have. They should have been growing in the truth. They should have been developing the truth. But now that the truth is here, are they hindering or helping? You know, they're hindering because right now, and as I said the last time, people have become their own gods. And why do I say that? Because they do whatever in their mind. Whatever's in their mind, they don't search the scriptures to see what they think is right. You know what they do? They say, well, my thing is this. This is what I believe. So once you say that, once you say my thing is this, or this is what I believe, you have then successfully removed the scripture, because you did not develop any scriptural answer for that. You didn't find the scripture and say, okay, the scriptures say this, so this is what I understand it to say. You're not even saying that. All you're saying is, this is my thing. My thing is this. So right then, you have made yourself a demigod. Nobody can tell you what to do because you already figured it out. And the Bible, you don't have any leg to stand on from the scriptures. So you're just doing whatever you want. And that's where, and so it's hurting. It's hurting the truth. It's not helping, it's hindering. What is the truth? That's where I want to get. And I jumped through all of that. I don't want to go too much into help and hindrance, but it's hindering. It's not helping. It's not helping people to come to do those things which our forefathers agree with Moses in the wilderness, and that we have to get back to for Christ to return. You realize that's what's holding us up? You thought something else was holding us up, right? Now listen to this. This is what's holding us up. We are holding up the whole process because the numbers, whatever the Lord is waiting to make that count is not there. All right? Whatever the number is that he needs. Yeah, the Lord got a number when he's going to send everybody, when he's going to send Yahweh Shai back. That's what I feel. Okay, so I was going to tell you a joke with a number, but I'll leave that out for now. Anyway, but whenever there's a number, and this is why we are out there trying to wake up our people, because when we wake up the people to the number that Yahweh, whatever predetermined number is in Yahweh's mind, when he reach that number, bam, he's going to send Yahweh Shai back. Okay, we ready to go. Get down there, change it around. So we are the ones who is hindering this whole process, not God, not Yahweh, not even Yahweh Shai, because he don't know the time. Only the Father knows the time, because the Father have a number in his mind that when we reach that number, so the Father don't even have to know the time, but he can say, okay, when that number reach, that's what gonna happen. So whatever the number is he have in his mind, he's just counting. Let's wait till the number reach. When the number reach,
Salakia, sir.
come with it.
When you talk about a number, you're referring to what? A number who have accepted the truth, or can you just clarify?
Yeah. I'm saying the number. Okay, the number who accept the truth. Now, God, Yahweh is going to be the final determination on who he accepts. So he alone will know who he accepts. But what I'm saying is this. Yes, there's a number of people, and this is why we have been admonished to go out and raise the dead. And when we have raised enough people and bring them into the truth and cause them to know that we need to now go back and again honor all the things that our forefathers agreed with Yahweh back in the wilderness and stick with them. That's the number I'm talking about. And so when we've gotten, so we don't know what the number is. We don't know how many people, we don't know what number we're at, and we don't know what number the Yahweh is getting to before he sent Yahweh Shai back. But I'm in my understanding from the scriptures, because we are out there raising people up. We're raising them up for a reason. And when we've raised enough people up, then I think that's what happens. So yes, in the truth, and that's the best I could put it at this point. that number in the truth.
Okay, so that number is that inclusive of those who have gone on already?
That number that would be inclusive of those who have gone
I'm
on.
still trying to understand the concept of the number.
Yeah. But this is why we've been admonished to go out and raise people up to preach. Because other than that, we wouldn't have to do anything. But we have to raise the people up to turn their hearts away from evil and wickedness and turn it to the Lord. And because no man knows the day, the hour, the time, so we just raise people up until the Lord returns. And so I am under the understanding that whatever the predetermined number is, what's in the Lord's mind, only him one has it. That is when Yahweh Shai will come back. That is when the earth will change. That's when the new Jerusalem will come down. The new government will be set in place. Yahweh Shai will be reigning on the earth. And the Israelites will be in charge under Yahweh Shai, and everything changes. No more war. None at all. No more starvation and farming and all this stuff. Because guess what? Enough food on the planet to feed everybody. Enough land on the planet for everybody to have. Enough houses on the planet for everybody to have. But the system is set up that people are trying to be rich. So for you to be rich, someone have to be poor. And that's just the bottom line. And that's not going to be that way with Yahweh. And when Yahweh Shai come back, he's going to turn it all around. The government changes. Okay, so the truth. What is this truth? You got a comment that says you got a question or comment? Okay, now, what is this truth? We're going to talk a little bit about the truth. Christ said, know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. In ISUPK, under Commanding General Yohana, we come to understand what the truth is. The blacks, the Native Indians, and the Hispanics are the true children of God. And you are who your father is. And so now you could be connected only by that blood. Christ said he came not, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. I'm paraphrasing that, of course. So he only came for the Israelites. Now we can keep over the time, but we're gonna finish this truth part before we clip it. So we see that this truth, you see, the truth is not only that we follow the Bible verbatim and we learn the scriptures, we follow the scriptures verbatim and we learn the Bible in its entirety. So we've added the Apocrypha in there, which would have been the part of the original translation which King James did. Okay, so we use that to govern and to train our lives, and we follow that vigorously. In so much that if you find a UPK brother and tell him the sin that he's committing, you tell it to him. You find one and tell him the sin that he's committing. You shouldn't be able to find the sin that he's committing, because he should be because for you to be in sin, you have to break the commandments. We don't break the commandments. Okay? All right. So the truth is not only following the laws, precepts, and commandments, but also there's an organization set up here. As we got the training and the teaching, there's a support, there's a brotherhood. We support each other. So this is all part of the truth. Not just following, but there's also an accountability factor set in there too. So you must be accountable in the truth. There's certain things that you're not going to be allowed to do. You come into, let's just say, for instance, you come into one of the schools. You come in effeminate. If that effeminate attitude doesn't change, you cannot be an effeminate. Or let me change it. You came in as a member of the community, an active member of the community, but for some reason you felt this need to change. So you come into the school, and if you don't change from being the active member of the community, you cannot stay in the school. That's it. You cannot stay. If you continue doing the things that you do, then you will not be allowed to stay in the school. Okay? That's part of the truth. This truth doesn't only force you to keep the commandments, it causes you to be accountable to the men above you, and they help to keep you straight. They help to keep you grounded. They give you the support you need. And not only that, if you need help, the help is there for you. And so this makes up the truth. And this is why we say we're not nice UPK, you're not the truth, and we're not affiliated with any other social group, any other Christian church, or even any other Israelite group. So this is how we view the truth. And so what we're saying is, the church does not have the truth. It hinders it. Because the church is teaching you lies. The church is teaching you that God loves everybody. That's not in the Bible. And the only way we, as I said to someone else, the only way we could trash it out is to battle it out. I could tell it to you, but the only way we could do it, we could battle it out. It's not in there. So when you find where it is in the Bible to say God loves everybody, you find me. Oh yeah, go on ISUPK. Well, go to Captain Desire TV. You see many debates. You see people who are smarter than you, who've been in Christianity longer than you, get body bag by the things that they say. And that should teach you that the truth is not out there. It's in here. So, since you got any questions that you want to ask? Good with that?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay, so okay, so with that, I just wanted to make sure I add a little bit of the truth in there, because that is basically what we strive for everybody to come into the truth. Christianity, and I understand the truth is a masculine organization. And the scriptures say the man is the head of the woman. And the scripture goes on to say, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husband. I understand that people don't want to do that. But the women should not usurp the authority over the men. And most churches, that is what happens. Women should not be preaching to men. And if you do that, then you're in error. And if you allow it to happen, you're in error. And you sit under it, you're in error. So, and I understand people don't take it serious. They don't take the word of God serious anymore. I see it's just...
do have, yes, sir. I do have a comment that could be a question.
Okay, come with
Of
it.
course, in the Bahamas, it is said that if the women don't go to church, the church doors will be closed. How do you feel about that? I mean, you see basically what I see here in the Bahamas, and we know that women outnumber the males on in some churches. How do you feel that if the women didn't go to church, the church doors would be closed?
I think I've heard that expression before, and I agree with the expression. And not only that, I agree with the expression, if the women doesn't go to church, the church door will be closed. I agree that the women shouldn't go to church and the church door should be closed. I agree with that all the way. You see, because what's happening is these same women were keeping the church open, going and being dragons to their husband. To their husband. They are being a dragon. They're not putting the effort into raising the children properly or bringing up a good house. So the truth is, the church door need to close. That's how we see it in ISUPK. The doors need to close. Because if the women come in here, they will not act that way. But they are acting that way there. Okay? They don't need to be going there. Because they ain't learning nothing. They ain't teaching nothing. They're not supporting their husband to the level where they need to. They are dominating, and this is why you want to know why the church is empty? Because of the domination of the men in the church by the women. That's why it's empty. That's why it's empty. Because the women dominate the men. And you may have a effeminate male pastor up there, but he's effeminate. Go ahead. You got a next comment?
Empty. They
You
just
breaking up.
lots
You're
of
breaking up a little
women
bit.
in them.
Repeat that. You're
So
breaking up a little bit.
no, what I was about to say, the churches aren't empty. They just have more women, far more women in them than the men. Even if the pastor is a man, there is still so many more women. And there are some churches where women are actually pastors, but of course the women still outnumber the men.
Okay, I wasn't even thinking that the churches were empty. I think the churches are full, but even the full church need to close. So I wasn't saying it was empty, so it need to close. I was saying the fact that the women are the ones who actually control. See, the churches were set up for women. The church caters to women. The church does not cater to the masculine man. When you go to the church, I mean, I wouldn't say that the man doesn't appreciate some of the finer things, but the church caters to women. And so the masculine men eventually would move out and you would have the feminine men staying in. Okay, you might have some masculine men fight themselves to stay in there, and they may even curve their appearance as to not be to look too masculine. So in the church, you'll see men normally would have a clean face, or these days they would have maybe even a well manicured bed, right? They may have that. They have a nice clean shape up and all that stuff, so that they don't look too aggressive. They don't look too mannish. They don't look like too masculine. Okay, and this is what happens. So you have these men would have curved, and of course it's by the ushering of the wife sometimes at home. Man, cut some of this hair off, dye this hair. Make this look good. Let's go to the barber, get a good shave up, get this line up and all this stuff. Don't look so masculine. Look kind of feminine. They ain't saying that, but that's the outcome. That's what happens. So I'm not saying the church is empty. I'm saying the church is full, but it still needs to be closed. That's my point. That's what I'm saying. Slovakia. Let me see if I have the next comment coming in. That's rough. That's what the dog say, rough. The dog say rough. But the thing is, if you believe in the truth, do you believe in the church? Do you think the two could coexist? The church is the ones that creates a lot of the issues for the truth, because people can't see the truth because they're blinded by the church. So if the church was to disappear, the truth will prevail. That's how I see it. Anyway, the dog say that's rough. But that's the way I see it. And of course, we battle Christians all the time, ISUPK. We battle them all the time, showing them where they in error and where their understanding is limited. They don't have the full understanding. And we show them all the time. Okay. So basically, that's what I wanted to bring out tonight. And if there's no other question, we're gonna clip it right there. Okay, so I see you come off mic, so we can clip it right there. We had ISUPK started out 1 West 125th Street under Commanding General Yahana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limit for 6 months. They had to shed themselves. They have to be saluted only. And he had to shed themselves of the world. After the first 6 months, if a brother or sister have a particular interest in the person, they must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sisters will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You have to pay your tithes. Tithes are shown up in Numbers 18:21, Malachi 8, Malachi 3, 8 through 10. It's 10th in the Hebrew and it's pronounced Ma'ashura. 10% of every penny of any increase that the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Free will offering for priests is not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you'd like to give to a priest, you can give. We got upcoming Holy Convocation. I think it's March the 2nd and 3rd. We have a Holy Convocation coming up there. And of course, we have the Passover in April. It starts from April the 1st all the way to the 4th. And that will be the Passover. It'll be the week of the Passover. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he should start wearing all black, which include black boots, pants, shirt, headband, or scarf. And with that, you come to the end of our class. And remember, check isupk.com or isupk.org for information on events. And with that, I say, Majum, sister, you could stand. I'll give you a close-out salute. I say, Majum Shabbat. Majum, Barak, Yahweh Shema Alatam by Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shema Alatam by Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Ajimata. And down. With that, class dismissed. Shalom, sis.
Shalom.